Ladies and gentlemen, we're now tuned into the Paris for the Jazzy Vision production. Sarah, Sean Paul, Sean
She like me, I kinda dig it, so I did my thing for her. She joining with me, now we getting groovy, hotter than jacuzzi. So shawty, won't you slow it down? See them other fellas, I'm like, hey,
Okay, you know what? We're not doing this today.
front to back,
We're
short
just, you know, we're gonna do that in the car. It's gonna have this back there?
Hey, it's your girl Nay coming to you with another episode of As Told by Nay, the podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's talk about it. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Nay coming to you with another episode of As Told by Nay, the podcast. Happy Thursday to everyone. I hope you're having a great day thus far. I hope your week has been bomb. I'm sitting here with my dear friend Jaleesa, aka Fave. She's gonna have this dialogue with me today, along with you guys. Make sure you keep the comment section lively and colorful. I know I said I wasn't drinking, right? And then I planned a trip to Dallas, and that just went out the window. I'm on vacation, and I did good up until when I got here, and then it just, peer pressure is real. Don't let people pressure you into doing things that you don't want to do. Okay, but said all that to say there's going to be an actual toast today. We're going to go ahead and take this shot of my favorite. Y'all know what it is. Malibu, get at me. I need that endorsement like yesterday. But I want to toast to fall and winter months, seasons, all the great. Woke up this morning. It was a nice little breeze in the sky out here in Dallas. And I was like, we don't get this in Florida. So I definitely want to cheers to, fall and winter weather. Because I like the crispy. Shout out to the broski. I got on my Royalty clothing brand hoodie. You might more than likely gonna catch me in something Royalty at some point throughout the week. So shout out to Terrell and Royalty. I was prepared because the temperature just was not like this yesterday, but woke up this morning and it was. But all right. Woo. First thing on the docket, Jaleesa, aka Fave. Go ahead and let the people know who you are before we get started with this conversation. Who are you, Faye?
I am. What do you mean? How do I know you? How do we?
No, who are you?
Oh, okay. My name is Jaleesa. I forgot that everyone doesn't know who I am. Born and raised in Cali. I currently live in Dallas. We don't do that. I've lived here since 2009. I'm a mom of a 10-year-old. He's about to be 11.
This is what y'all do in Texas?
We don't do that either.
Okay.
I love to travel. I love to read. I'm a student at OU.
What you taught me? Boomer Sooner.
Yeah.
Go Boomer Sooner.
We'll practice a little more later. But that's about, I'm a couponer, extreme couponer.
Oh gosh. Okay. So that's Fave.
Wow. That's it. That's it.
Flag on the play. All right. So that's Fave. Everybody that comes on the show, you got to get these excuse me, come again questions. It's 4 random questions. I'm just going to ask them to you. Answer them as honestly as possible. She's not prepared for this. She didn't even know it was coming. But we're going to get into it.
Okay.
All right. Question number 1. If you had to marry the first person you had sex with, Would it be a happy marriage? Are you staying in it? What's that like?
Yes.
Yes. Oh.
He's very successful right now.
Not-
He's handsome. Like not. I mean, like he has like a good head on his shoulders.
That's what's up.
Yeah, for sure.
Where he at?
He's actually in Hawaii.
In Hawaii. Okay. Is that a possibility?
No.
No. Oh,
I mean, I talk to him here and there, but I don't think it's too long of a distance.
okay.
But he is a really
Okay.
good friend. A really,
That's
really
what's
good
up.
friend.
All right.
Yeah.
Question number 2. What is your and I saw this on what was I watching? Instagram. And it was a funny little video.
gosh.
Somebody transferred it from TikTok. But what is your most memorable flued out experience? What happened?
Most memorable flued
Yeah.
out experience.
And that could be for whatever reason.
I would have to say when I went to Philly.
Okay.
Only because it was something that I've never experienced before, and like the whole trip was very adventurous, but there was no plan. Like it was just kind of go with the flow. There was no set plan, and it just like made it a lot more fun.
Okay.
And it was during Corona, so
Not there. Oh, so this was a recent
okay.
flew out.
All right, next question.
Oh, we moving on? All right.
Excellent play. What'd you say?
I'm gonna move around.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, question number 3. Do you believe in love at first sight
Oof. No.
or no? No.
No, I wouldn't say maybe lust at first sight, but not love at first sight.
Okay.
Some people think they're in love, but they don't even love themselves first before they fall in love. So they think they're in love, but they're not. It's more so lust.
My brother said it's a no, hell no for me. He ain't going back to the first time. That sucks. Me either though, bro. Don't even look at me, sir. I might pull out my gun and shoot you. All right. I've been watching this show on Hulu called Love Island, and people tease me all the time because I'm just such a hopeless romantic, whichever one it is. And I love love. I love the idea of being in love. I just love all of that stuff. And so I'm watching this show, and they pretty much are trying to find love at first sight. And there's this one couple on there that pretty much did. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is the cutest thing ever. So, all right. Number 4. Are you pillow talking and telling your friend's business to your man? What does that look like?
Oh, okay. So this is a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's boundaries. Like I feel like if it's something dealing with that can put her in danger, and we might need his protection, we might need a 911. We need you to show up. I think he needs to know.
Okay.
But anything else is like super personal or like girl talk stuff, absolutely not.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the first person that I have had this conversation with that actually said that. Most women are pillow talking and telling they dudes and they men.
I think
they
there's
homegirls'
boundaries.
business.
I think it's boundaries.
But I think to the point that there's rules. Like you got to be able to really trust your partner and know that they not gonna spray your friends or bring it up when they're around
But
them.
you have to take in consideration men talk just as much as women talk.
Yeah.
So let's say his guy was interested in you, but he didn't pillow talk some of your business already. Then the man that you were interested in might shut you out because he might know what you have going on at home because I said something to him and he said something to him.
Oh, like told his homeboys. Your
Yes.
friend business?
Yes. And so you might have a crush on him when you meet him, but he's like, no, thanks. You got a little too much going on. But of course, you're not going to know that. No. I think there's boundaries. There's limits.
Yeah, I can agree. I can definitely agree that there are boundaries and limits. And I feel like those boundaries and limits are, he better not say nothing. Whatever I tell you about anybody, you better shut
But
up.
sometimes, you
act
have
like
to
you
say
don't
that
know.
disclosure. You better not repeat.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't.
I feel like.
And also because I kind of hikey learned my lesson from this. So maybe
so,
that's why.
because somebody said she's been there before. So you have been there before.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Whoever said that, you're on the money. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. All right. So we got to be careful, fellas. If your girl is telling you stuff, be quiet. Don't tell your homeboys. And don't be out here spraying her to people. It's not cool. Don't do that. All right. So those are the 4 questions. Yay. All right. Speaking of friends.
Don't do that again.
What?
These 4 questions, I didn't like that.
Why you ain't like that? It was easy questions. Oh my
That's how
God.
we're prepared.
You're not supposed to be prepared. Okay. So if I had to give today's conversation a title, I would name it, What About Your Friends? What about your friends? Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about friendships and what that look like, what that mean. We are both adults in our 30s at this point. I feel like friendships looked a little different when we were younger than they do now. The meaning may be a little different, but first we're going to get into this letter. I'm going to read you guys this letter real quick. And then we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right, dear Nay, my question is, how do you determine who your friend is versus an associate? I ask this question because I often hear people say that that's not my friend. That's just someone I'm cool with. Or I don't. Oh, pause. Let me slow down for a minute. Okay, that's just someone I'm cool with. I don't let a lot of people in my circle as I carefully watch who I call my friends. I'm not hard to get along with, but I'm very on edge about my circle. I've been rocking with the same people since middle school, gained about 5 more friends in college who are more like my brothers. But that is it. So again, my question is, what is the determining factors on deciding who's in or who's out and being your friend or a chill partner, or let's just go out and get drunk? Signed, a concerned brother. So I thought this conversation was a fun one to have with my friend. People often tell me that I have a lot of friends, right? Let's just start here. People often tell me that I have a lot of friends, and I can agree with that to a certain extent. I'm very friendly. I am very easy to get along with, kind of like dude said in the letter. Bubbly, poppy personality. I'm nice, But not everybody that I'm nice to is my friend. You don't get that title. And I had to learn that the hard way. So the first thing we kind of talk about is, what is a friend versus what is an associate or an acquaintance. Do you think those are 3 different things? First of all,
A friend,
an associate, an acquaintance. Are those 3 different things, or is an associate and acquaintance kind of the same, or
I guess. I don't know, because I wouldn't say, if it's someone I work with, I would say that's an acquaintance.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't see them outside of work, if it's someone that I talk to but I don't hang out with, I would say that's an associate.
Okay.
And then someone that I actually like kick it with, chill with, can like travel with, or like let's say we stop talking and I see you again in like 3 years and it's like we kind of picked up, I would say that's a friend.
Okay. So I definitely think there are levels to it. I don't got all them different categories. Either we friends, or you fam, or we just cool. That's
so
it.
You still have 3 though.
No, I'm saying like an associate versus an acquaintance. That's the same thing to me. We cool.
Oh.
And then I got people that I call my friends, and it's people that I have 2. You either a friend or you're just someone I'm cool with. If you've made it to the level of fam, you in your own category. That's something different. That's something completely different. But I have, friends that have turned family, if that makes sense. Because you may not be able to pick your relatives, but you can definitely pick your family. Okay, so you said something, and we're going to dive in a little bit more with that later, but you said if it's someone that you're cool with from work, you make friends at work?
I mean, you always got like a little buddy at work, a little friend that you kiki with at work. All right, girl, see you tomorrow. But it doesn't go out anywhere further than that. But my last job that I was at for 10 years, there's like a small group of us that we actually did kick it outside of work. Like we were actually cool. Like I would say that they're my friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're who I kick it with. Like I can call them still right now and call and we can have dinner.
Okay.
But there are people that were at work that you just talk to throughout the day. Like, how is your kids? How is your husband? Oh, it's good. How are you? How was your holiday? Great, thanks. Like that's
Okay.
Or like, you want to go to lunch today? Like, sure. I kind of want to sit by myself, but sure, why not?
I feel that line with them work friends can be very tricky, very sticky. I stay away from it. Although there has been a few people that I've met at work before, and it did pour over and become actual friendship outside of work. But
is it because you don't mix like work with personal?
Yeah, because you just never know. You just never know. I'm fortunate enough that my line of work, you're kind of forced to make at least one friend, just because you have to have someone to balance that heavy load with.
Mm-hmm.
At work, you guys are doing the same thing, seeing the same cases. Like it's she get me, I get her. We do need to digress outside of work because it's a lot. So, okay, so two people in here said there's levels to friendship. So I'm gonna talk about the levels in my friendships, and then I'll have you do the same. When I think about friends, right? When I was growing up, my friends were my family members. My mom was real particular about who came over my house, whose house I went to. It was not much of that. So as a kid growing up, even into high school, you could say you were my friend if Sharon knew you. That's how people knew who my friends was, because she's letting them come over. I'm able to go see them. So I had maybe like 3 friends through middle school and high school. I had my classmates that were amazing. I'm still really close to a lot of my classmates to this day. But I had like 3 friends, because for me, a friend is someone that you, as a kid, you're hanging out with, you telling them your secrets, y'all are doing things together. My mama knew you. I trusted you with my little kid stuff. So I had 3, and then I had my family, and those are like my best friends. Shout out to the bloodline for sure. Mertz Grands, all y'all.
So you must have like cousins that you guys are similar in age.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I actually grew up with my cousins. Like,
see, that's crazy, because on my mom's side, I didn't have anybody that was my age.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the people around me were like, that were in like my apartments were like my friends,
because
that's all the kids that I had, at my age.
On my mom's side, it's 6 of them, and they always having kids like at the same time. It's crazy because all of us has a cousin or 2 that are the same age.
Okay, so it was like
everybody had a buddy, and then on top of that, me and my buddy, there's a set of buddies that's maybe like a year older. So as we got older, we kind of then
still
not a whole little circle is getting big. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So my brother said we not because we brothers. In fact, because I can say I have lived in the house and grew up with all my cousins on my mom's side, because they're close like that. So either they lived in my house, or I moved and lived in their house for a little while, and we grew up, and they told us y'all siblings. each of the siblings had like 2 kids.
Okay.
So your cousins is the rest of y'all.
Okay. So
it was pretty dope growing up. I didn't need a lot of friends. It was like 3 of them, and they was integrated into the cousins, and now my cousins call them cousins, and great. So into adulthood is when I would think I really learned the lesson of what it meant to have friends. Again, those 3 friends from school, they're still my friends today. They followed into adulthood, and then I got to college. Shout out to FAMU, and that's where I met the bulk of my friends. There's a handful of them that became family, though. It's a different vibe with your college friends when those are the ones that you lean on when there's you ain't got nothing. You seeing them all the time. Y'all are trying to fend for yourselves in college together. College is when I started dating and doing all this. So now I got these friends. They got to see me cry. They got to help me get through these men issues. We helping each other study. We're growing as a people. Now, I was in a dance sorority, and those group of girls, definitely my friends. I want to say all of them, because there's a whole bunch of us. Shout out to FAMU Elite. But there's a good, solid group of us. They're my sisters. They're my sisters for real. Shout out to the clubhouse. And so when I look at my line of friends, it does seem like I have a lot, but it's because of those levels. I have people who came with me from childhood. I have my really, really close friends from college. And then I have another set of close friends from college that were a part of my dance team. So, you know, they more like family. And then I got my family. When you think about, would you consider your family your friends, or are they just your family?
No, that's my family.
Okay. I never understood that until I got to college. I met so many people who really, there was that separation. It's like, that's fam, but that's just fam. And my mom was the one who taught me that there is a difference, because she said, my auntie is her best friend. And she like, that's my sister. Yes. But she's also my friend. Like, if she wasn't my sister, we would still hang out. We would still have this connection. We're so much alike. She'd tell her everything. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it goes deeper than just that bloodline. So I was like, oh, that makes sense, because I do have family that I wouldn't consider my friends, but then I have family that
you would consider.
That's definitely my friend. Yes. For sure. So what do you have levels, or do you just have like a couple friends and that's it?
I mean, I have like childhood friends that I grew up with. It's a handful of us, like 5 of us. Then I have friends that like from fam, aka Nay, is one of them. I have a couple friends from fam that are like legit, like you said. It's kind of like they're a combination though. Like, you have a really close relationship. Like, I would have a relationship with my siblings like that, mm-hmm. but they're just my friends. Like, I wouldn't say best friends, because I feel like we're too old to be like, oh, that's my best friend. But I mean, to have everybody, to have like a group of like, say everybody is like your best friend, I feel like you should only have like a couple. Okay, we'll talk about it. Okay. But needless to say, so it was a couple at fam, and then now, like, since I moved to Texas with nothing, with mm-hmm. 2 suitcases and my pregnant belly. So I had to basically restart my life over. So then, yes, I have a really good group of friends here as well. So I guess every kind of big stage in my life, I have like a specific close knit of a small circle that I have generated. But the thing that I've learned as getting older, though, I would kind of shut myself out, like, oh, I can only have these people as a friend or best friends, or like consider them to be family. I can't add anybody else to it. But as you continue to grow, some people fall off, mm-hmm. and you grow closer with other people more than you do the people mm-hmm. that you thought you would have to have in your life for your whole time, or like the long haul, I guess you could say. So, like, you know, when they say like people in your life for seasons, like, I never realized that. Like, I would be like, no, this is my friend, they have to stay here forever. And it's like, no, their time has come to an end. But you have someone else that has been doing exactly what you're asking for this person right here. And you're thinking like, oh, I can't have this relationship with them, but you can.
Right.
So, okay. I mean, but then like I said, growing up with my mom, I didn't have brothers until I was 8. So that was the whole 8 years. It was just me. Right. And I mean, I had a couple of cousins, but that was on my dad's side. I only saw my dad every other weekend. So, I mean, yes, we're close, but it wasn't like how you said, how you have like the people that you grew up with, and that's like your family regardless. Like that's it. That's fam, period. I didn't have that. So I did grow up with like people in my apartments or like my condos growing up that were close. But then of course, when I left for college, we weren't really as close anymore. Of course, social media friends, you have those type of people like, oh, do you still talk to them? Like, not really talk, but, you know, keep up with them on social media.
So are those your friends?
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say now, no. But back then, like, if you asked me right out of high school, I'd be like, yeah, that's my friend. But now, no, I wouldn't say that because I don't talk to them.
So you think that the title of friend actually holds weight? See, I've been having this debate with a couple people, too, that they feel like once you become an adult, you can use the term friend loosely because it's just like you got a bunch of friends, everybody your friend. But that doesn't mean like what it did back in the day.
Like the same definition of a friend?
Yeah, like I can call whoever my friend because I'm friendly with them. That's what they were saying. A friend is just someone you're friendly with. It doesn't have to hold such weight as back in the day, how it used to. But I still toy with that idea. I don't know how I feel about that. And there was once upon a time where I called a lot of people my friend that were not my friend. And it like, was just...
Okay, so why was... Wait. But why were they not your friend, though? Just because... Like, I ask a question. how are they not your friend though? Because you guys didn't hang out, or you just be like, "Oh, mom, that's my friend right there."
I think I would call them my friend because we were friendly. We had a friendly connection, but they probably wasn't really my friend because I'm not calling this person when I'm in need. I'm not depending on this person for emotional support at any time. They don't know. We would hang out, and then that's the thing. We would hang out, and that's why I would call them my friend. Like we might have went to the club and had drinks or had dinner or lunch or something,
Mm-hmm.
and we cool, we friendly, but that's not, my brother said you just knew them, and that's what it was. I had a lot of people that I knew and I was friendly with, but they not my friend. You know what I mean?
That kind of sounds like that, like the situation where it'll be. Like, let's say we didn't know each other, right? Like, I knew of you, and I'm like, oh, Nate's my friend. And then they were like, do you know Jaleesa? And you'd be like, no.
Right.
So it's like, oh, so you're Jaleesa's friend, but Jaleesa ain't your friend.
Oh, okay. not even like on no curve like that, but just like, again, how I knew people were my friend. And even now, if Sharon don't know you, you probably not my friend. Because if you're my friend, you've been around, I'm confiding in you. I'm talking about you to the people that are close to me. People know you. So there has been times I'll be talking to my mom, like, oh yeah, because you remember my friend. And she's like, who is that? I've never heard you say this person's name ever before. Or I'll bring them into a situation with a group of friends and everybody like, well, I haven't seen you before.
Right.
And I haven't seen you before.
Right.
Who the hell is this?
Right.
And it's like, well, we friendly, but maybe that's not my friend because it's not, I don't know, on the same level as my other friends. I feel like most of my friendships are pretty much equal playing field. And I've integrated you guys so much that most of my friends, although they're not friends, they know each other. They've seen each other. They've heard of each other. Y'all scattered across everywhere. So some of y'all have not, been in the same space, but y'all know of each other, if that makes sense. I don't know. I think it looks a little different in adulthood. It's just something you got to play with. So, okay. So I was talking to a younger group of people. And, once upon a time, there was that whole no new friends movement. And everybody was proud to, ain't no new friends. Ain't no adding to nobody to the picture. Same group of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was cool to be antisocial, not let people in. How do you feel about that? Like, I think you kind of just hit on that a little bit, saying you felt at one point, once you had this group of friends, nobody else could come in.
Well, yeah, and sometimes because, like, especially moving here and, like, me having a couple of friends, well, there are a lot of California people in Dallas, a lot of us. So, of course, once you find out that someone's from Cali, especially from the Bay, San Jose, East Side, we all kind of just, mesh together because it's like a little part of home is here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I would try to integrate my Texas friends with like my Cali friends, so Texas but Cali friends, and the Texas people be like, who is this in our section? And I'm just like, no, she cool, she good, she from home, like she from back home. And they're just like, no, you just don't bring anybody around. And I'm just like, but that's how we roll in the Bay. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all just get together because it's just like we're all one.
Right.
But the same thing at FAM. Like, the same thing at FAM. All the Cali people got together. All the Chicago people got together. It's like, it just is a sense of familiarity. Is that the right word?
Yep.
Yeah. Everybody just is comfortable with each other, and it just makes you feel comfortable. So, to be honest with me, the reason why I tried to join the two is because it was like, I don't have family here. So the little bit of Cali that I had made me feel comfortable. But when they were like, you can't do that, then I was like, oh, let me bring it back and just, I guess, keep people separate until they join on their own or get used to each other on their own, if that makes sense. But that just, all my examples are going to be that I've been through. So.
I mean, and that's the whole point of the conversation is from your personal perspective.
Yeah.
That's any college. That's just how that goes. You find people from back home and you link up because, like you said, there's similarities there. There's that familiarity, and just we gonna make this do what because I don't know nobody here.
Okay.
So let's move into the whole best friend category. And I was talking to this young guy that wrote the letter, and we kind of got to a place where it was like, no, you do have more than, just these little 3 friends that you got. The 3 friends he was referring to, I feel like those his best friends. And then there's other guys in his life and females in his life that those are your friends. Shut up. Do you think that you're only able to have like one best friend? Or can you have multiples?
I mean, my best friend tried to have another best friend, and I wasn't going for it for a long time.
Okay.
But eventually, I started liking her best friend, and now I'm really cool with her best friend.
Oh my God. So the answer is yes. People can have more than one.
At first, no, you're not supposed to.
Why?
Because if I'm your best friend, that's it. You don't need anybody else.
Because that's the next thing we're moving into. Are we too old to be jealous of our friends having friends?
No. No. No, because, okay, here's the tea. Our best friend is our best friend, okay?
And I'm not telling you to put my business
It
out.
doesn't matter. She's the newer best friend. I'm the seasoned best friend, okay?
Not seasoned.
But can anybody else join this triangle? Absolutely not.
I mean,
Let her try to get another best friend.
here we are.
It's not happening.
I already
So,
did.
she has another best friend?
No. Oh, you said the triangle.
Yeah, if
Oh.
this is it. It's the 3 of us, and that's it. She can't add anybody else to this triangle of best friends. She's at her limit of best friends. It's just 2.
I am very jealous of my relationships.
I just think it's just because I guess you could say, quick, I've known her since we were. This is my son, guys.
Hey, Jada.
Okay. You said, I know he's lying. Kids just don't care. They just don't care. But anyway, I just think because I've known her since we were 7, that's a very long friendship. So, and it's always been like, the 2 of us growing up, all type of situationships. Okay, when we got into our adult life and you say like you have another best friend, I'm confused. Like, why? Why do we need another best friend? But then I see why we needed another best friend. And now we're fine. But can she add anybody else, like I said? No.
So here's the thing so I'm very I said jealous, but let's take that back.
I
I'm
don't
very
think it's jealous. I think
particular
it's
about who my friends are friends with because I love my friends and I don't want to share you because you're my friend. And not everybody needs to be your friend. And I'm the type of person that will bring my friends around each other and then they'll hit it off because they're just amazing
So
people.
I was about to say, so then what do you do then?
Be looking
You
crazy.
get mad?
I don't get mad, but you know how like when we were all hanging out
On the weekend.
over the weekend
And
you told Alyssa
listen,
to
let's
come
come
up
to Dallas
here,
and hang out.
and I was like, no, she can't come unless I come
Salty
too.
pants.
But I do that with all my friends, so I'm like that with my family too. Like when I bring my sisters out with me, and then my friends start liking them, or I'm out with my brothers, I'd be like,
But you know what it is? You don't want to have FOMO.
what is that?
Fear of missing out. You don't want to see on social. Like if Alyssa came here and we were lit, we get lit. If we were lit, you'd be at home like, y'all doing too much. Calm it down.
But for me, it's not a fear of missing out because I have to be in the mood to want to even be out.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be out, but anything that we're doing, like if we're hanging out and you're not.
I don't want my friends to be friends without me. That's what that is. It ain't missing out.
Friends to be friends without me. Wow.
Don't do it.
That's the one. Okay.
So like if my friends have other friends, I'm cool with it. But my friends can't become friends with my friends without me. Does that make sense?
Yes. I mean, there was situations where I'm trying to say this without saying too much. There are situations that we were together and our best friend was being a little too friendly with somebody else and you were not having it. And I had to be like, now come on, May. They're just talking.
Are you talking about what I think you're talking about? I was being funny because you.
No.
Yes, that whole trip I was being funny.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Oh.
I'm not talking about
Well, then I don't even
that.
know what you could be talking about.
But yeah, I get it. That's just like sometimes, like here, like I can say for my Texas friends, there was like a party one time, and this girl that I like brought to the group was invited, and she didn't even tell me she was coming. She walked the door, and I said, "How did you get an invite?" And she was like, "Oh, such and such called me." And I said, "Herself?" And then I was just like, when did you guys exchange numbers? And she was like, "Oh," gave the reference, and I was like, "So you guys hang out? Like, what's happening?" And she's like, "No, like I just." She told me there was a party coming, and I just came. But it's just like confusing. Like, what do you mean? Because normally I'm the one that would extend the invite, like, "Oh, such and such is doing X, Y, Z. She said to invite you to come."
Yeah.
So it threw me off when she like put through the door, and I'm like, I didn't even know you're gonna be here. Surprise! What's happening?
Yeah. My friends do it anyway, though. Like, I'll tell them not to be friends, and they'll still be friends. It's all good. It's all good. I love you guys. So when you're in a relationship, what do your friendships look like? I was talking to one of my good girlfriends who got married recently. In the course of their relationship, she was like, "Oh, this is my best friend." And it's like, "Oh, that's so cute," you know.
Like her man,
Right.
she's referencing her man
Yes.
as her best friend? Okay.
That's her best friend.
Okay.
And then they get married. Are you, and I don't want to say like forgetting your friends for your man, but kind of like, you know how some people will get into a relationship, they begin to get all that love and support
Consume.
and become consumed in that relationship. And so now your friends are kind of on the back burner. Well, you still talk to them, hang out with them, but you know,
Not nearly as much as you did.
right, because now you're relying on this man for all of that, which people will say that that's what you're supposed to do.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I also learned my lesson. So if you would have asked me a couple years ago, my answer would probably be this. However, I've learned that you have to have a balance between your man and your friendships. And it's also great to have, the only way to have a healthy relationship is make sure that he spends time with his friends and you spend time with your friends. Because the moment that gets mixed up or, "Oh, you shouldn't and you have to be with me all the time," then that's going to cause friction, and then it's not going to work.
Mhm.
Speaking from what's it called?
Experience.
But now, like, I think that it's very good. I think that it's good, like, me hang out with you, hang out with his friends, and sometimes maybe we can get both of our friends together and we can have like a little shindig.
Next question. That was my next question.
Yeah, I think that's very healthy to make sure that you have your relationship with your friends, because God forbid something happens. Like, let's say you cut your friends off because you're so consumed, right?
Mhm.
Not even say it's like a horrible relationship or whatever, but like you break up for whatever reason. Who are you going to fall back on? Because you cut everybody off. Because you don't know, like, if you cut everybody off and you try to call someone, if that was me, I'd just be looking at the phone like, I mean, and it's sounds harsh, but you haven't talked to me for umpteen months. And now that you need somebody, here you are. You know what I'm saying?
Is that a thing? Is there a certain amount of time you're supposed to talk to your friends?
What do you mean?
Like, it can't be this much time has passed by or we have a problem.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Because there's like that I said, like, as a really good friend that from fam, and we might go months without talking. And then when we do talk, we're on the phone for like 6 hours.
Mhm.
But it's not, there's no type of, I mean, she has her own life. I have my own life. It's no
Facts.
bad blood. It's just like sometimes.
We've grown up.
Yeah. You can't, everyone's not going to talk every day. So, no, but yes, to answer your question, I think that it's very bad to isolate yourself and be consumed in a relationship and not have the same, if not as close as relationship with your friends as well. I mean, like, I think I would have girls' nights. I love having good girl nights. And then, like, sometimes, like, when I was in a relationship, he'd be out with his guys, and I'm like, "Hey, y'all get too drunk, call me. Come pick you guys up. Have a good time. See you later." Right. Like, okay.
So how do you feel about your guy hanging out with your friends? Is that a no? Is that a bad boundary? Is that okay?
Because if you have a good group of friends around you, no one's going to try you or do anything shady. If you have trustworthy friends, nothing. There should be no reason on either side that you should be worried about.
Are you letting your friends and your man hang out without you?
I mean, that's happened before where like it wasn't like too long, but it was like we were meeting for happy hour and I just worked later. So of course they met before I did. But again, like I would want, like if it was you or Chris, or sorry, dropping names, but if it was one of you guys.
I know Chris.
Right. Okay. So if it was one of you guys or something and you guys came to town or something and he needed to pick you guys up and I was at work and wasn't here, it wouldn't bother me a bit. Now, if it was somebody new, like some random, excuse me, FaceTime me until I get home. Because, but if it was you guys, yeah, no, absolutely.
So you feel like it's important for your friends to know your guy?
I think it's important for you guys to have maybe just as close of a relationship as I do with him. Absolutely. Just like we call Chris's husband, but I still like our brother. You know what I'm saying? Like that's our brother, period, at this point. Once they're married, that's it. Like we got you for life.
Okay. That was a conversation we had on one of the other shows about
what?
Trusting friends in your relationship, or like, so then if they become friends, how does that look like with that dialogue? So I know how before I was asking you, are you telling your dude information about your friends? And then I'm sure you're talking about your relationship problems and whatever with your friends. Now they become friends. What does that look like?
I mean, for me, I think it's good like have like our friend that has a husband or a boyfriend, because you can always ask male advice.
That's true.
You can and men will keep it real. Like, okay, first of all, when you did XYZ, you were doing too much.
Yep.
Or like, nah, he's not really feeling you. So I feel like it's good to have the perspective of having like, it's kind of like having a guy best friend and a girl best friend. Shout
out to my bonus bestie. My best friend Sequoia, her husband.
Yeah, see, and you know, and I think when you have a relationship like that, you can always have a good roundtable talk that's genuine, raw, down to earth, super to the truth. Like, I feel like when it comes to those type of relationships, no one's gonna sugarcoat it. Like, if it's someone that you meet new and it's like a male or something you want to ask for advice, they might not give you the whole truth. It might be like, oh, let me just tell her what I think she might want to hear just so she doesn't feel bad because I don't really know her to tell her you're doing too much. But if it's someone that is like my best friend's man or my best friend's husband, I feel like he would be able to tell me and keep it real.
If your man is telling you he don't like one of your friends, he don't think you guys should be friends, are you listening to him?
I will now. I didn't before, and it bit me in the ass. And it wasn't even like he was just doing it just because, sometimes they're like, oh, she's just trying to break your relationship up. It wasn't that type of situation. It was literally like, he was like, she literally is not your friend. And I can just tell that she's not your friend. And I was like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, you're crazy. And then, of course, like once we ended and my friendship kept going on, I started realizing, wait a minute, she's really not my friend. Like it was a lot of shady things going on that he had called way back when we were together. And I was just like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, you don't really know her. But yeah, so going forward, absolutely. I'm gonna be like, I would actually probably ask questions like, well, why do you think that? Because before I just kind of shut it down. I didn't like try to have a conversation or communicate about it. But if it happened, I'd be like, well, what's making you say that? Or what are you seeing that I'm missing? Or like, because make it make sense, basically. And if it makes sense, then yeah, she gotta go.
Double dating. Are you doing double dates and couples trips?
I love double dates.
Okay.
I love a good double date.
You don't feel like it'd be like added pressure for?
No, because my double dates, women actually trips. What'd you say? Couples trips?
I said double dates, couples trips.
Okay, so double dates, I don't feel
outings.
like no, but like couples trips, my type of couples trips, I don't think that we should be together the whole entire trip. I think you guys need to go do swimming with the dolphins, and we're gonna go zip lining, and let's meet up for dinner.
Are you feeling some type of way if your guy does not mesh well with group settings? Like
No.
if you guys go hang out?
No,
with
because
him?
he might be an introvert.
So then what does that look like for future? Like he don't like them boys, but them your friends.
Well, look, I've dated a lot of introverts, and to be honest, they'll do stuff for me. Like, I really don't want to do this, but because I know it's going to make you happy, I'm going to push through it. However, can we meet somewhere in the middle? Like I said, like it might be like, can we just do some things by ourselves instead of doing everything together? I'll participate in some group situations, but I don't want the whole trip to be group situations, and I'll be fine to go.
Okay.
And as his woman, I need to compromise.
Okay.
Listen.
Compromise. Word of the day.
Compromise. Yeah, you have to. No, you honestly have to. But I feel like trips like that, it's good to also have quality time too.
Yeah,
Because
for
like,
sure.
you know, everyone's lives might be super busy. So that might be the time for you guys to fall in love all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like it might take that one little trip an hour away with just the two of you guys to basically remember why you guys are together in the first place. And if you were with everybody, you might not have the opportunity to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I love a good couples trip and I love a good date night.
Facts.
But I also love
It's a
round
round
table
table.
talks. So date nights always turn into round table talks.
Opposite sex. What?
I want to ask you though, what are
What?
your thoughts on like couples trips and stuff?
So here's my thing. Again, I have a lot of friends. Majority of my friends are either married or in seriously committed relationships. I have a few friends that are still single and out here
Hello?
trying to find love and stuff, right? So I'm all for couples trips. I'm all for group date nights. I'm all for group outings, double dating, all that stuff. My last serious relationship was with an introvert. He wasn't too keen on the idea of being at outings with a whole bunch of other dudes.
Like dinner too?
Nothing. He wasn't trying to go to.
So he wouldn't.
No. So either I was not going to the couples outings because he didn't want to,
Or you were like a
or I was just going to be with my friends and I ain't got no man. When everybody know I got a whole man
at
that-
home.
It's at home, right?
So would that
Um,
bother you?
Yes. It infuriated me, actually. We had a lot of arguments about that.
Behind it? Yeah.
He couldn't understand. I don't like people. I don't want to be around your friends like that. I don't know these dudes. Why are you trying to force me to be friends? And I'm like, I'm not trying to force you to be friends, but come hang out. Like,
Right.
my friends are great. Their guys are great. Like, he was not. I think I got him to go to maybe 3 things with me the whole 8 years we were together. So that bothered me. And I was like, okay, moving forward, the next guy that I'm interested in or dating or whatever, he got to be friendly. He got to have a similar personality to me that I can be like, hey, we're all about to go do this. And he's like, okay, bet. I can go spend a couple hours with your friends doing this, or you want to go on a couples trip? We can do it, you know?
But you can find a good introvert that'll.
But that's what I'm saying.
Suck
The
it
word of
up.
the day is compromise,
Yeah.
because I definitely agree there should be an area of compromise. Most men don't know how to do that though. And that's just me speaking my understanding of it. Most men do not know how to compromise, or they pick and choose when and what
they'll compromise
about,
Yeah.
right? So I just moving forward was like, nope, next guy that I get, he has to be open to meeting my friends, being around my friends. I do this podcast stuff. I'm an author. I have different things that I do with my therapy stuff. Like, I'm going to need somebody that's going to accompany me to my events.
Right.
And if you don't want to be around people and you don't like people and
It's
you
not gonna
can't
work.
mix and mingle, that's not gonna work. So
And it's the only thing that sucks for me though is because I'm the most socialist butterfly alive.
too.
Like, not to toot my own horn, toot toot, but I can work a room.
Yeah.
Just on like not even knowing it, I can just work a room.
Yeah.
So when I have a partner, like you said, like going to like work situations or like things like that, like I'm not gonna sit here and look at you. Like you're gonna have to You're gonna have to mix and mingle somewhere and do something.
Right.
But it's hard. It's hard to find like a good introvert to do that, but there are some.
Yeah.
And I've definitely done some. And some actually been younger than me. You'd think like younger men aren't doing all that, but yeah, some have been younger. And then
I think introverts just won't work for me just because of what my personality is.
not for you.
Mm-mm. I need somebody that. Never mind.
Okay, next. What's the last thing?
Woo! Opposite sex friendships.
Oh, I like this.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that opposite sex can be friends, best friends? I had this conversation with a couple different people.
Yes,
and this
yes.
conversation is always an interesting one.
I have actually 3 guy best friends, and I will say best friends because they are literally my guy best friends. Kid you not.
Never any.
We called one yesterday.
Anything?
Never. Nothing.
Okay.
I was still thinking about it. No, never. I'm like their wing woman in public.
Okay.
Like I'm that friend. When they date someone, they come over here. They like meet my son. Like that's the type of friend. When I say like best guy friends, like I love my 3 best guy friends because their personalities are all different. Like they're 3 different people. So if I need like advice, like I know which one I can call, which one I don't need to call. We talked to one yesterday and he's crazy. We talked to one yesterday and he is literally crazy. But yeah, I think, and you know, people say like, oh, can you have friends that you don't bone? Like absolutely, because I would.
You would never.
No.
I definitely have got friends that I would never.
And it's like, I know their lifestyle and I know how they live. So I would never play myself like that. Like I would never in my life think about stooping to that level after like knowing how they operate. Now, if it was something like before we became really cool, like when we first met, maybe I would take it in consideration. But after like your relationship grows and you see how these people are and you see how you mesh, like that kind of just becomes a line you don't even think about crossing.
So then
like it's like they're kind of like brothers.
So if you have the idea that this person is your best friend, you feel like if ever there is a thought of being intimate or being with that person, that's no longer your best friend.
I can't really answer that because even if I was on my drunkest day, it wouldn't happen.
Not for you. I'm just saying, like, if there was another girl who's like, "Oh, this is my best friend," and they have that relationship, and then they end up.
I mean, not to like. I've heard of a lot of examples where it's like women who are gay that do that, like they cross the line with men and they end up having like kids with them. I've heard like a handful of situations like that. And it's just like, well, I was with my friend one day and we just got lit and I didn't think it would ever happen. And then poof, here I am pregnant. So, I mean, I know it could happen. Mm-hmm. I've heard of it happening. But for me, no.
So do you think that once you've already been intimate with someone on that level, can you go backwards and
to being friends? A best friend again? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's like, if neither one of you guys has feelings and y'all just are like, that was just kind of like a little hiccup, but we ain't never doing that again. I think that you definitely can, because then of course no one's ever going to talk about it. And I'm also sure that you haven't spoken about it to anybody else because you don't want the embarrassment of that was my best friend and we just took it there and now we're looking at each other looking stupid.
So even if not on the closest level of best friend, like just a homeboy, that's your homeboy. Y'all end up being intimate, liking each other, y'all dating for a little bit, then you're like, never mind, let's just be friends. Is that possible to go back there? And if you had another dude,
I think so.
If you got into a relationship, would you feel like you shouldn't be friends with this guy anymore because you guys used to talk?
I kind of feel like,
because it's not. I'm taking it past just sleeping. Y'all used to like
have an intimate, like a connection.
Y'all was talking, y'all was dating, and then decided never mind.
I don't know. I don't know because I feel like it would be like how comfortable your man would be about it, I guess. Like if you talk to your man about it and was like, just so you know, we used to have a romantic relationship, but now we're just cool. Does that make you uncomfortable? And he was like, fuck no, cut that nigga off, then he gotta go. But if he was like, I mean, I'm not like, I'm him and he ain't me, so I don't care. I don't care about nothing that you did before. So that don't have, like I said, I'm him. So you could have did whatever and it had nothing to do with me. Then I'm like, okay, babe, like, bet. Like,
Are you letting your dude have a female friend that he used to date? Is he still able to hang out with her and talk to her? And
I want to say yes. I want to say yes because you should trust your partner. However, I'm crazy. So that might not go too well with me. I think I would have to be around them to see. Like if I see the eyes and the, like
I miss you so much.
Right, like you hugging too much. You hugging too long. Hi. Hello. Like, but I feel like if it was just like they were cool and had like a dope relationship and I can tell that it was like dope and she was really cool with me, then I'd be fine with it.
Okay.
I think it's all about respect. Like if you're over it and there's nothing else going on, then that's cool. But if you're just saying you're over it, but you really just don't want to look like a simpleton and you're doing too much, then we're going to have a problem.
So boom, recap, wrap up real fast. Oh, it's almost 9 o'clock. That went by quick.
It did. Cheers.
Cheers to us. So we talked a little bit about the difference between friends, associates, acquaintances, things like that. There's a difference, or maybe not. I still don't know how I feel about it. I feel like friends can be somebody that you're just friendly with. For me, I got friends and then I got family. And there's people that were friends that became family, and I love you guys to pieces. If my mama know you, that's the deciding factor on where you fall. Other people.
Hey, Mama Sharon.
Shout out to Mom Dukes, Miss Sharon Patricia. Hey, girl.
She's so dope.
So boom, we talked about that. We talked about childhood friends versus adult friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to let some of those childhood friends go. Sometimes you grow and you move on and you're in a different space in life, and those were supposed to be your friends, as Miss Lane says so gracefully, for a season. Maybe it's not forever, and that's okay to move past that. You can have those friends you grew up with that may not be your friend in adulthood because someone else is coming to fill that spot. We talked about besties, having multiple best friends, being jealous about your friendships. And I guess that's a pretty normal thing. I've had this conversation with multiple people, and friends can be territorial. It's okay. There's no age limit on that. We kind of talked a little bit about why we felt that way. Mm-hmm. I just don't want my friends being friends with my friends. I don't know. There's no real rhyme or reason other than don't hang out without me. Like I'm just kidding though, because,
I was saying I feel like I should shout out my Best Guy Friends podcast, but go ahead.
Yeah, you can do that then. Damn, threw me off what I was saying.
No, we're recapping. That was it.
No, that wasn't. I was in the middle of saying something about fuck it, whatever. So multiple best friends is okay. Being jealous of your friends and their other relationships, whatever, it's normal, it happens. But as an adult, don't be too crazy with it. And then we talked a little bit about opposite sex being friends and such. It's possible. Don't be out here hunching on your friends.
Yeah, don't do that.
Just leave it where it's at. If y'all gonna be friends, be friends. If not.
But wait, before we go off, do you have best guy friends?
I have one.
Oh, okay.
I have one.
Okay.
Shout out to Justin. He's in jail right now.
Oh.
But yeah, shout out to free my boy. Free my boy. So yeah, that's that. Another episode as told by name. You can go ahead and shout out to people.
So shout out to my best guy friend, Octavius. Follow his podcast, Rudish. It's dope. I've done a couple episodes on there. Go ahead and scroll through. Shout out to my son, y'all. He had his little cameo in his Spider-Man onesie. That's my twinsy for life. And shout out to Nay for this dope ass podcast.
Catch us right back here. Well, not us, but me. Next week, 8 p.m. Another episode of As Told by Nay, the podcast. Be great, guys. Be safe, and I will see you guys next week. Let's talk about it.